got to hear from Michael King earlier today. He seems very excited to be returning soon. Is it him that we can expect on the mound tomorrow?
Yes, I think that expectations he has, we have, and yeah, probably no one's more excited about Michael. It's been since May. He did pitch for that one time against the Red Sox briefly, but Michael's ready and able to come back, and we're excited to see him pitch tomorrow night.
What is the value of having him return at this time as your team is making a push, and then what is the expectation for him specific to tomorrow?
It means a lot to the team. You start to get Darvish built up now. Michael still in the process, but I'm sure he alluded to it. He got to 70 pitches or so last in his bridge game in Arizona. So we'll err on the side of caution tomorrow, but he's built up. Dylan was really positive yesterday in his outing, like the sweeper. I thought it was really good, and Nick's been really good as well. Vasquez pitched well the other day. So my ultimate point is that starting rotation is starting to shape out. As far as expectations for Michael goes, they're always high for all of our guys, and they're no higher than Michael's going to set for himself. And we're going to temper him a little bit because he hadn't been on the big league mound as much, but all the things that he's been doing is really checked all the boxes, and he's ready to go compete. And Michael King's, an ace for us last year, and was at the start of the season was on a pace to be a Cy Young consideration.
You kind of alluded to it, but you mentioned the 3 starts that you had in Colorado, and all of them were solid starts from your guys. What does that do for the confidence of the rotation at this point, and also for the bullpen?
Quite a bit. It not only for the starters' confidence, the team confidence. The fact that we got 3 quality starts, in Colorado, which again historically is a harder pitching environment. And that's the one thing we ask for the starters: just give us a chance to win a ball game, and most of the time they do. The thing that's been interesting, we went through a stretch he wasn't as good, and that's in past tense, by the way. And it also magnifies the fact that we've done some pretty good things over the course of the year, and the starting pitch has been a part of that. So just getting back to what that looks like, but how it affects the team, and we won 2 out of 3, and outside of Freeland pitching a magnificent game, we could have easily swept the series. And then did the bullpen quite a bit, because you don't want to get it's not built to get more innings out of your relievers than your starters, and so when they can get at least half the game or a little bit more, or in some cases a lot more, but at least a little bit more, it sets us up for success.
Yesterday we saw some different looks in the infield with Jay Cronenworth looking really good at shortstop. We saw Arraez at second and O'Hearn at first. What does that versatility do for you as a manager?
Yeah, it allows us to use the moving parts relative to a lot of moving parts, and that's the thing that, and yeah, Jake made a great play at shortstop, and we have a lot of players that can play different positions, and we use them accordingly. And I don't need to get into all the reasons. I will if you need me to, but we'll be here a while. There's a lot to be said about the lineup for yesterday. Who was pitching for us? Who was pitching for them? Today we have a lefty going on the mound, so we also have a really good player in Jose Iglesias that's helped us win a lot of ball games this year, and from a fielding percentage standpoint, one of the best fielding shortstops in baseball. We've got, we also want to make sure, that stretch we talked about, we didn't play as clean defensively, so I want to make sure that we are factoring in our defense relative to the decision that also was weighed in on the length of the offense. But, we have a good offense that Jose and those guys have been able to contribute to, so it's really a fluid situation. Is a long answer to your question, and I hope I answered it well.
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, to piggyback off that, how frequently or infrequently would we expect to see Jake at shortstop here moving forward?
Yeah, I try to just explain it. I'm going to try again. It's very fluid. It's really, there's a lot of factors to it that, again, some of what else. There's just a lot to it, and there's other players involved with it, and I understand the question completely, and I don't know how else best to answer it other than the way I just did.
You've had a couple games like yesterday where you're hitting home runs in bunches. How much do you see power in this lineup as a potential difference maker for this team late September, potentially in October?
Yeah, I think we're always looking. We're not anti-homer. We enjoy and appreciate the home run, and I like the fact that, we use all the field to be able to do it. Jackson went opposite field, and Manny used the left center gap. So it was definitely a part of it. Ariana, hit another laser out of the ballpark. So, Sheets, he, crushed one as well. And so, yeah, we love that to be a part of our offense. But not every day there's guys going to present pitches and opportunities to give homers. And so, we have to also win in other areas, which we work on. And, we're doing our best to be as holistic as possible, and a home run's part of our offense.
You have a very consistent approach, kind of one series to the next. Just kind of curious your outlook on a series like this where, you're facing a team that probably views this as a big opportunity for themselves.
I think every team that we play views an opportunity for themselves. I can't. All I can know is that it's an opportunity for us, the Padres, and we're going to go play the style of baseball we expect to play, and that's all I can do. I can control, and I can't worry about where anybody else is other than what the Padres are doing, and be prepared and respectful and with our opponent.
I know you guys love the phrase sense of urgency, but when you have 19 games left, this is your second to last homestand, how crucially is it important for you guys to take care of business at home?
It's crucially important us to win opening day, game 2, game 10, game 140, whatever game it is today, 143 maybe. So I personally, I understand the sense of urgency and that people have, and I can just tell you that I have a sense of urgency every day I show up at a ballpark. So, I feel confident and comfortable by saying if people are going to make situations bigger than they are, that creates anxiety and pressure that's unnecessary. If you create that on a consistent basis of expectation of preparation and competition and enjoyment, then you're going to meet the mark every day the best you can, and that's what I'm confident we've done since I've taken over as manager here. But I do appreciate the time of the year and the question.